Hey guys, welcome back to another video in the series of Bash scripting for beginners, and in today's video we are going to talk about logging. Before moving further in this video, I would like to request that if you are new over here, kindly subscribe my channel. Okay, so without further ado, let's dive right into the video. So now what we are going to discuss today is what is logging, why do we need logging, how do we generate logs, how to customize logging function, syslog, and we'll take a demo of basic 2-3 things. Okay, so let us understand what exactly is logging. So logging is helpful when there is no debugging tools. Logs help localize a problem and narrow it down. So if you have a problem in your system or anything for that matter, you can just narrow it down by taking a look at the logs. Logs help to check if everything is working as expected or not. It helps figure out if there is a security concern, like you can have a malware in your system, you can have a virus, a Trojan, or an unexpected intrusion. You can help figure out from the logs that whether there is a security concern in my system or not. If you run your script unattended, logging plays an important role that what is happening inside your system, you can take a look after the script has committed anything or script has done anything, you can go through the logs and check if it has run everything fine or not. Syslog-ng is a very famous tool that helps security experts, system admins, and DevOps manager in centralizing all the log messages coming from the server and network devices and application and printers, anything, a lot of things. Basically, it reduces your downtime if you check the logs correctly. Let's talk about syslog a bit. Syslog is a protocol basically for logging and tracking system messages in Linux. So application use syslog to export all their error status messages to the file in the \var it's a forward slash log directory. So it's a directory and it is configurable. You can configure it and you can if you want somewhere else your logs to be logged, you can do that as well. So the component that syslog has is it has a listener that gathers and processes syslog data. It has a database because it needs to store somewhere all that data, and then management and filtering software because you need to find about the logs. A lot of things happen inside your system and you need to find something, so that for that you have a management and a filtering software. Okay, so logsys uses facilities and severities to categorize messages. So there are facilities and severities to categorize the messages that it produces. On your right, you can see that it is associated with a number, a keyword, and the facility description. So 0 stands for kern, it's a kernel message, 1 user level message, and so on. You can pause the video over here and you can understand it, or take a screenshot, or you can write it into your notebook if you have one. Moving forward, you can see that there is local 0 till local 7. So this is kind of a customizable kind of thing. You can customize it according to yourself. There is a code for severity as well. Note that when you specify a priority, you are actually specifying everything at the priority or higher. For example, mail.info would mean all messages coming from the mail facility with the info, notice, warning, ERR, which is error, crit, alert, or emerge priority. So these you have to take care of it through this. So whenever you want to use any kind of severity, you have to take a look at this, and whenever you want to use some kind of facility, you have to take a look at this and move forward. Okay, so I hope you guys have understood this part. Let's move to the demo part. So I have this is already running over here, and this is the first program. We are going to use logger for that. The basic thing, so we are going to echo this is a test message from Visual Studio Code, and this is one another way of doing it, and this is other way of doing it, so you can use any of them. Okay, so what I'm going to do, let me check where I'm exactly. Perfect, I'm exactly in the correct path. 01, hit tab, enter, and you can see nothing has happened over here. So let's go to the terminal. We'll go over here, we go over here, we go to the terminal, and in terminal what we'll do is we'll first check where are we, pwd. Okay, so we have to go in the var directory, so cd var and then in the log folder. Okay, now if you do ls hyphen ltr over here, you can see a lot of things. Okay, so by default it will go to messages. So what we have to do, we have to do cat sich messages. Okay, so permission denied, which means it is not sudo. So do one thing, sudo su, and then osboxes.org. Perfect. Now what we have to do, where we are cat messages, sorry, it's not ccat, it's cat. What did I do? Sorry about that. Perfect. And you can see there is a lot of messages over here. Okay. Now what we did over here, we ran it, but it did not work. Why? Because let us check out its permissions. So what are the permissions? If I do ls-ltr over here, you can see it does not have an executable permissions. Okay, this one. So what we'll do, we'll chmod it. I'll give the highest permissions available, 0 1. Then I just have to copy this, paste it over here, and this file will have all the permission. Okay, let me just type it, logger.sh, hit enter, and now it has the permission for the executor. Now what we'll do, we'll just try to run it again. Now it has run, and let's see if there is anything changed over here. And you can see there are two messages now in this file, which is, this is a test message from Visual Studio Code which came from here, and this is the second message, which is this. So I hope you guys have understood it, how we can do it. Okay, this is how logger work. Now why do we need tail? So what it will do is, in this part it's going to log something. This is the test message from Visual Studio Code, log, and then we are going to tail the last four message. This -n is of number, and then last four messages in the file known as messages in var and log directory. This tail version will show you the tail version. Let me just clear it. Now I'll just run this again, 02, the tab, enter. Cannot open because for reading permission denied. Again, same permission issue. If you would have copied this and pasted over there, it would have worked. But the only thing here worked over is tail -- version. Okay, but this needs to be worked. So what we'll do is, we'll do again the same thing. We'll chmod and give this tail.sh. Sorry, it has to be 02. Now it has the rights. I'll just run it again, and you can see the result. It says cannot open for reading permission. Let me clear this and run it again to see what is happening. Cannot open var-log messages for reading permission denied. Okay, let me again check this tr over here. This has the permissions. I don't know what happened. Okay, it cannot show you the results over here. So what you can do is, you can just copy this from here, copy it from here, clear this and paste it over here, and then you can see the last four messages are now present over here. So this is how it works, guys, when you have to do a tail. Make sure you are in the sudo. Okay, and tail version it has already produced. Okay, now what we have to do, we have to take the custom logs. So custom log is going to print it over there. Okay, so what you can do is, okay, so there are a few changes that I want you to understand. If you want to do study about the facility and severity, you can do a lot, and you can Google online, you can see what exactly it stands for and how does it matter. Here it's not in the scope of this course because it's more of a Linux kind of a thing, and we are not going deep into Linux right now. We are just doing the scripting part. Okay, so I think spelling is incorrect. So okay, so if you want to route it, you have to make changes in the syslog, this syslog file. And how do you see that syslog file? You see it over here through this. So if I copy this, cat, paste, and this is how your syslog file look like. So you can make changes over here and save the boot messages to somewhere. You can save here, you can give some file over here. That's what you can do over here. Okay, so whatever you were seeing over there, this is a syslog file. Let's go here. You can copy this logger-p local 7 air over here, make changes over here, and whenever you run, those messages will go in that file, whatever you print over here. So this is how you can make changes to this rsysconfig file. Okay, so yeah, this is the file. Yeah, and this is what you have to check whether your system is running this service or not. So you can copy this, just paste it over here, hit tab, sorry, hit enter. It will ask for osboxes.org. So we don't do it from here, do it from here because it is more of a root kind of a thing. So it has started. Okay. Now if you want to see the status, just copy this. I think it was already started, so that does not matter. And you can see this is actively running. It will show you the software version as well, the process ID as well, origin as well, and everything you need to understand. So it's just starting system logging service. This is how you can see it. Make sure every time it's running, otherwise the logs won't be logged. And the same thing, start, stop, disable, enable. It should be enabled and the status should be running. Okay, so this is for your own understanding. And this is where our sysconfig file which I just showed you. I think this terminal does not have read only it cannot read it over there, so you can do it from the terminal part. Okay, so if you want to go out of this, just press Ctrl C and it will go out. Perfect. Let's go to custom logs. So what you can do is you can run this file logger s. I won't run it because I don't want to provide permissions to it. So what I'll do is I'll just copy this logger -s. This is a custom message and I'll just clear this. I don't need to clear. I just clear this. Paste it over here and you can see it has given this as a custom message over here and it will produce a file as well. So if I do ls-ltr, you can see it has produced a custom message file, okay, which I was trying to do. So this is how you do logging in this. There are multiple things that are available online for this. You can go deep inside it, but right now it is not covered over here because it's not in the scope of this course. So I hope you guys have understood this part. If there is anything else, feel free to comment below and we will address that. So thanks guys, and I'll see you in the next video.